Greetings, life forms, wherever you're receiving us. This is Justin.
And Matt.
And I get to broadcast from the upstairs this episode. My name is Landon Doan.
He's on the up and up faux show.
I don't have to broadcast in my basement.
To the east side. To a deluxe apartment in your kitchen.
Yeah. It's I don't know if I'd go as far as deluxe, but I am in the kitchen, and having had to record in the basement for the last few months, aka the winter, the kitchen feels so much nicer.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel appropriate that like a nerd podcast would be recorded in a basement? I feel like we should all be in a basement.
That or
hiding our
room or
shame,
yeah.
Yelling at our mom to bring us more Kool-Aid or something. I don't know.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Yeah.
I don't even know what she does back there. It's meatloaf, Mom.
Mom makes some good meatloaf. Welcome back to Nerd News Cafe. This is episode 82, and it is March the 29th. And today's a big day because today, Ready Player One hit the theaters. We've been counting down the days, and unbelievably, it came out a mere several hours ago, and we already have 1/3 of this group who has absorbed that movie through their ocular cavities. And
Can you guess who it is? Do you know?
You will never guess.
No, you're not going to guess, but we'll get to that later. For now, let's talk about drinks, and then let's get into the news for the week. So, Matt, I want to start with you because I'm wondering, what does a man sitting in a closet recording a podcast drink?
He drinks this is going to be I want you to theater of the mind. It looks like a soup can, except it's, like a small cup. It has, they made a cup look like a soup can, and it has water from my filtered water refrigerator.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's the saddest mental image I've ever come up with.
You're welcome.
Is it chunky soup?
It's just a silver can. It's kind of like if you peel the label.
Does it have like a clown playing sad trombone music in the background? Does that come with it? Because that's what I'm picturing.
No, but it used to have a clear top that screwed on and a vortex straw.
Ooh, see, now
okay,
that'd be
I'm
more
back
fun.
on board with the vortex straw. I'm not going to
Lost the vortex straw.
Oh, and I'm out.
Just
Damn
drink
you,
out of
Matt.
the cup now.
Bastard.
This has been such a roller coaster of emotion.
It really has.
Off one cup and a drink.
Yeah.
It didn't involve two girls.
Landon, bring me out of my depression. What are you drinking in the kitchen?
Well, since I am in the kitchen, it does feel like a special occasion. A few weeks ago on this podcast, or it might have been when we're, not recording, getting ready to record, I mentioned how I've been intrigued by Chick-fil-A's frozen sunshine or frosted sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
It's the frosted OJ type thing. And me being me, I was like, that'd probably be good with vodka in it. So, guess what I'm doing tonight, y'all?
Drinking
It's
straight
Jesus
vodka.
juice with true Jim Jones Jesus juice.
Yeah, there we go. Get that mix. And I ain't talking the audio. Here we go.
Good stuff.
That is straight vodka. Oh,
You have to drink from your drink and not the bottle.
speaking of mix, I have bad mixing skills. Oh.
I imagine that milkshake's pretty thick, so if you dump the vodka in and just kind of sipped off the top, that's all you got, buddy. Just
No. This is mixed in, and all I got is
Still
vodka.
only got vodka.
2 years of bartending school didn't pay off.
Yeah. I can't even remember that fun theme song that came with the 1-800 number anymore. It's so sad. I literally remember nothing except poor decisions, which I continue to do tonight.
Geez,
Cheers.
I wonder what could be the reason that you don't have great memory of things like this. Could it be you're mixing vodka in all your drinks? Maybe.
No,
Could have
I don't
something
think
to do
so.
with it.
Don't really think so. Don't see the correlation there. Sorry.
Okay.
Just being honest.
Well,
What about you? Did you put vodka in your drink too?
no, because that just seems like it'd be overdoing it. But I am drinking an American beverage tonight. It is born in the Rockies, established 1978. This is an aluminum pint of Coors Light, my friends.
Oh, well, there you go. Wow.
And it's got a twist-off cap. I don't know if you could hear it twisting off.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
see,
heard that.
that's one of the things I like about these, because this way you can twist that cap back on. You don't have to worry about, I don't know, like cats coming around trying to stick their face in it. I don't know. It's not like something like that happens in my house all the time. But it does.
Well,
You truly live in a fearsome environment.
Really.
and speaking on American beverages, today, the day we're recording it, is the first day of the 2018 Major League Baseball season.
It is
so,
opening day.
On the bench, in honor of the opening day, I have some old style for my Chicago Cubs.
There you go. That stuff's disgusting.
It is.
That's
really,
gonna put hair on your
really
chest.
not good beer. There's a reason I was able to get 24 of them
For
with tax
for a nickel.
$24.01.
You overpaid.
You got ripped. Yeah, you got ripped.
Probably. But you know what? It's the official style of the official beer of the Chicago Cubs.
All right, gentlemen, let's get to it. Friends, listeners, countrymen, if you'd like to follow along with us, you know how to do it. Join us on Twitter at nerd_news_cafe. You can see everything that we have liked, retweeted, commented on throughout the week, and we will be referring to that list as we go through our headlines of the week. I got a few comic notes this week. I'm going to bring back a little. I don't even know if I have my effect queued up. I'm going to try it. A little.
Oh God!
Comic book corner.
Brace for impact.
Because here it
Are
comes.
we okay? All right. I'm okay on my end. Are y'all
Well, I'm still in one piece.
okay?
And Matt's in his panic room, so he's fine.
I was going to say I don't hear Matt. I'm terrified.
No, I'm here. I just.
Oh, thank God!
I have to be
Thank
choosy
God.
about when I talk. So
Limited oxygen. I get that.
yes,
right.
very much so.
All because Jay wanted to do his fun sound effect. Which, by the way, that was a fun sound effect.
Sound
Well,
effects are always.
You know, just to let Landon in on the joke and the audience. I usually record from, as you guys say it, the bonus room, as it were. But since I have I don't know, no short of 4 extra people in this house, I have moved on down to the closet in the ground.
What,
And
a coffin?
no, but that's the next choice. We have kind of a small closet attached to our main bedroom, and that is where I'm at.
So,
On the
you say you have 4 extra, like you have those 4 extra people in your house on purpose. You're not being robbed or home invaded right now, are you?
I'm blinking twice.
I
I'm
did say
blinking
he's in his
twice.
panic room, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well, you know what? I appreciate the fact that you're willing to put your own personal safety on the line just so you can record a podcast. That right
That's
there,
right.
dedication
it's for the cast.
It is.
for the cast. Hashtag for the cast.
We appreciate that.
Doing it for the cast.
All right. In honor of opening day of Major League Baseball, let's all stand up and sing the national anthem before we get into the headlines.
Can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Can't stand up. And
What is Matt taking a knee now? Jesus, just got put.
I'm actually laying on the floor like I've been shot.
That's even worse,
and
Colin
I have
Kaepernick.
Mike balanced on a laundry basket, and my laptop is on another laundry basket.
It could not be a jankier situation for you.
Wow.
Oh, it gets worse, but I'll leave it to the imagination.
Yeah, just wait until he goes and breaks out his rock band mic.
The funny
again.
thing okay, so I just want to
Do
mention,
not cut on the rock band mic.
it's so today Matt's sound is actually really good because he's got a lot of noise dampening around him with all the clothes that are hanging around him.
Yes,
Landon's is worse. He sounds like he's in an echo chamber because he's in a hollow kitchen with no
Yeah.
soft surfaces. So
I'm in a freaking Gregorian chant studio over here. Oh,
He's making the new Enigma album. That's for all you 90s fans.
I was gonna say, I remember those 800 commercials.
Okay, guys, I want to talk comic books.
You won. Go ahead.
Would it help if I put like a towel over me or
you're-
something?
No, you're good. It's not.
This
bad.
isn't Total Recall.
Makes
Put
you
a towel around your head.
Now I just feel like an asshole.
Okay, listen. I picked up a couple of comics from one of the new Marvel series that recently started this year, and it is X-Men Red. I have issue number 1 and 2 in my hands right in front of me here, and if this was the video element, I would be demonstrating them to our viewers at this time. But I really dig X-Men Blue and Gold, and I think I've told you guys before that X-Men Blue probably comes out on top a little bit for me. I really like that story. I like that cast of characters. Well, I decided to jump into this one just to kind of get a taste, see who's involved, see where they're going with the story. Let me tell you the roster right off the bat, because this is what caught my eye, and I was like, you know what? I don't know that I even need to know much more than that, and I'm on board. We're starting with Nightcrawler, who
Ooh.
I always enjoy. We have Gentile or Gentle. He's some big dude that's got like blue glowing lines all over him, and I'm not that familiar with him. But
I've never heard of that guy.
Apparently,
but
he's
okay.
Apparently, he's kind of like a Hulk-like character, but like he can draw a lot of strength, but it also causes him pain to be that strong. So
okay. So it's kind of like a combination of Hulk and Penance. All right.
Yeah, similar. We have Trinary, who she's apparently she's like a tech-mancer kind of person, which is kind of interesting. I didn't even know she existed, but now we're getting to the good stuff. Namor.
Name Neo. Okay.
Namor.
Wait, Namor?
Yeah.
Wow.
As in like that Namor.
That Namor is a member of the team.
Okay, I like that.
Namor?
Sorry.
Honey Badger, who you just got to love because her name is Honey Badger.
And clearly she doesn't give a
No,
wait,
she,
no.
no,
Yep,
she-
that's right.
She doesn't, and she's kind of the young, like punky comic relief. As you go through the story, she adds a little element of spice, I would say.
So is she like the Negasonic teenager
Kind
warhead?
of, yeah, kind
Okay.
of. But she talks a little more, and she's got like more quips. And then you got Wolverine. No, not that Wolverine. X-23 Wolverine, and she's like full adult at this point. And then Jean Grey is kind of the leader, and it's awesome. It's really good. I'm enjoying it so far. The story, it's a familiar story. I mean, if you follow the X-Men story, it's all about humans want to destroy mutants or isolate them or oppress them in some way, and they're just trying. All they want is peace. Jean Grey has this plan. Of course, she's back from the dead, and they acknowledge that she's back from the dead. They say it
Because she's Jean Grey. That's
they
what
say
she
it
does.
more than once. That you know.
Say it
she-
once again for the people in the back. Jean Grey's back from the dead.
Yeah, she needs to be careful so as to not become dead once again. They mention that, but you know they're doing X-Men things. They're trying to, regardless of whether they get the credit or people support them or they understand where they're coming from. They're trying to do the right thing. The whole premise of this is Jean Grey she's taken the Martin Luther King stance, and she has a dream, and she knows how she's going to unite the people and create peace on the planet. So she starts with a address to the UN that goes terribly wrong when it looks like she somehow explodes the head of the UK ambassador.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
I do hate that. It's pretty awful. So the writer for this story is Tom Taylor. The artist is Mahmoud Asrar. And the color artist is Eve Svorcina. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's what it looks like. And so through two issues, I'm really enjoying it. It's going really well so far. I'm excited about it. And this is just a small taste of some of the new books that are going to be coming out this summer, because I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a new Avengers book coming out this summer. They're starting with Avengers 1. It's going to be a new lineup, including She-Hulk, which I think is pretty cool because I like the She-Hulk books. But I mean, if you go out, there's a long laundry list of some of the titles they're going to be launching over the summer. Characters that are in high demand, but maybe none more than the announcement that we got today from the Marvel editor-in-chief himself. Guess who's coming back, guys? Not Shady. Not Shady, not Dre.
If you were to give me a number of guesses, how many guesses would you give
You know,
me?
I feeling kind of generous. I'm going to give you 4 guesses.
Wow, 4. That's a fantastic number to give somebody
You
with a
could
number
say
of
that.
guesses.
You could say that.
God.
Now start the clock. Who is it?
Alpha Squad.
No,
It's
sorry.
Alpha Squad. Dang it.
Sorry, not Alpha Squad.
X-Force.
Not X-Force. We will see them in Deadpool 2, but not X-Force.
Power Pack. It's those kids, aren't there? There's 4 of those kids. It's Power Pack. Boom.
So close. You were really close.
Muppet Babies Reborn.
No, sorry. That's it. Nope. You're totally wrong. You wasted your 4 guesses. Guys, it was right there in front of you. It's the Fantastic Four. They're coming back.
What?
The original
way.
crew. The original crew.
Wait,
All right.
Fantastic Four? I don't know that I don't
You're not
remember
following?
them.
I think that's fantastic.
It is. It is. It's really exciting. And Landon, I just wanted to point out that you have been kind of reading the tea leaves for a while. And while this is
Jesus.
while this is comic book news, you have been reading into some of the marketing and some of the different things that have been going on around Infinity War. And you have, if we can call back to a prior episode, You've put out a little bit of a guess as to something that we might see in Infinity War and something you hope we see, and that is a possible Fantastic Four appearance. So
yes, not only am I not only am I making predictions, I'm straight up calling my shot, pointing at center field. I'm saying at least Reed Richards shows up at the end of Infinity Wars, and I don't know the timing of all of this Marvel kickoff with all brand new ones being 5 weeks after Infinity Wars 1 drops. I mean, clearly they want some synergy to carry over, but come on, really? It's like all this talk about fantastic stuff in the announcement of moving the movie up a week. They all caps drop fantastic. I went back to the theory about how maybe that looks like a 4 in the image that they released, and then now that they're full blown announcing, hey, guess what? Not only is the Fantastic Four coming back, it's the original crew. So like, I'm not gonna pat myself on the back. I'll let other people do that, but I'm just gonna go full Kermit the Frog, sipping my tea, because that's not my business.
there you go. I want to give you some credit though. That was impressive to say the least, and I got to tell you, I mean, the synergy that we've seen between the comic book stories and the movies, I think that you've got to say where there's some smoke, there's some fire, and maybe we do see a fantastic Easter egg in Infinity Wars. So that's something.
And that's the thing. You talk about the movie and the comic book correlation. In the past, there has been immediate carryover from what you see on the big screen. You then turn around and see in print. Like, the movies very much influence the comics. And, maybe, I mean, like, they know something is going to be coming down the pike, so they want to be ready to strike while the iron's hot, because if once again, I mean, I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but let's just point out, I haven't correctly predicted anything yet. This is
Not
just
yet.
a theory.
It's true.
But if this theory ends up proving correctly, they're going to want to strike while the iron's hot, because if you remember, at one point Ant-Man was just some goober on the Avengers, and then after his movie came out, Ant-Man was a top guy when it comes to comics. He was selling his own storyline. So I do feel like, coming out of Infinity Wars, they're going to want to strike while the iron's hot. And what better way to strike while the iron's hot? Everybody's excited that the Fantastic Four is coming back. The comic book Dorcases like us, but then, the mom and dad and little Jimmy and Sally, who maybe don't necessarily go to the comic book store every Wednesdays to get new books, they're going to be excited because, oh, cool, I saw those guys at the end of Infinity Wars and I want to check them out. Boom. Marvel has another family hooked. So, I mean, it's like, this is business.
It is. And we saw something similar with when Spider-Man Homecoming was on its way to the theaters. They launched the new Spider-Man series, and they came out and said at the time that the whole purpose of doing that was to introduce a new audience to Spider-Man who might get interested because of the movie, and it gives them an entry point into the comic books that maybe they wouldn't have had because there's so many different Spider-Man books out there and they wouldn't have known where to jump in. So I got to tell you, it's looking a little suspicious to me over here.
That said, it's like, this is the first family of Marvel, so I'm excited to see, A, them come back into the fold, period, and B, if they are back in the fold, that, I mean, like, sooner or later, eventually, you have to think they're going to get on the big screen under the Marvel Cinematic Universe umbrella, and one would think that's when they're going to get it right. So, I mean, we've already had like 17 Fantastic Four reboots at this time. So, I mean, here's to reboot 18, 19, and 20 before they finally get it right.
Right.
And I'm going to be the next Human Torch, so I can then pivot to Puck.
I have one demand. And I know you're saying maybe just Reed Richards in Infinity War, but if Johnny Storm makes an appearance, I would really love Captain America to have some kind of a brief moment looking at him like, almost like seeing himself in a mirror or something, and like getting real
that
confused.
Would be fun.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that.
I'd enjoy it. I'd do it, just a little tip of the hat to that past. So that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
One last piece of comic book news that was announced over the last couple of days. There's an event coming up this summer in the Marvel books as well. Death of the Inhumans.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
There you go.
I was going to say, are things not going well for the Inhumans?
Yeah. No.
No, and we
first off, they
yeah.
they didn't get the right costumes. Second off, they didn't get the right script, and third off, they're just not here. So
Exactly. That series never got off the ground, and it started. You're exactly right. When they started putting out cast photos in their costumes,
Ooh, yeah.
everybody was like, "Well, this is going to be hot garbage."
Yeah, that thing was dead on arrival.
So, but and we tweeted it out. I said mercy killing, in my humble opinion.
oh yeah,
So it's one of those events. Like Inhumans aren't going away, but it'll be an interesting series to see
they're
what,
going
what they
away.
do with that. But Lockjaw has his own book right now that just started. I think in February.
Miss Marvel is an Inhuman, and she's pretty popular. And plus, it's like, okay, just the book itself is going away. The Inhumans, I don't think Marvel's going to break out the big eraser and just, wipe them off the face of the earth. Because it's like Black Bolt and Medusa, even though, here recently the Inhumans has been, mishandled. They're both still alpha level powered mutants and big time players in the world of Marvel.
Yeah, and we were enjoying looking at that Black Bolt book too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Saladin Ahmad book, I believe. Really, really enjoyed what he was doing.
yeah. I like the Black Bolt book. It was fun. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. They have a lot of characters that they don't pull to the front. And I think a lot of those are going to be like, hey, here's this guy in this series. Or, they're going to be those tertiary characters to use at will. And you're talking Miss Marvel. I think one of the announcements we got was the Life of Miss Marvel, one of the books they're going to come out with that look pretty cool. So,
oh, very cool. I am.
I think you're talking Captain Marvel, actually.
Sorry,
Oh,
Captain
okay.
Marvel.
All right.
Yeah, that's
because
one of the
Captain
new ones.
Marvel's. You talk about characters, how they have kind of had, not characters drawn to the forefront. Captain Marvel is getting ready to be drawn into the forefront and very front and center.
Absolutely, movie and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the recent years, Carol Danvers has been more of a big player in the comic book world, but I think once she shows up, she's going to be, an A-level star in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, Brie Larson's
like
gonna be
from the
pushing
word
that.
go.
Yeah, and that movie, there was some news that came out about that one, and they said that some familiar faces from like Guardians of the Galaxy and some of the other movies that we've seen are going to be showing up in the Captain Marvel movie. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be, because I mean, like, Captain Marvel is a big player, but at the same time, she's just a piece on the board when it comes to, especially the space stuff. And oh, by the way, the Guardians are the entire space stuff as far as we know in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Yep. So that's going to be fun. So I think that'll wrap it up today for a comic book corner.
Oh,
And,
God.
Jesus, you got to warn a brother. I mean,
Seriously.
I've got to keep my heart at a resting rate to keep my, breath down, and you can't be doing that.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I get a little excited sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Speaking of something that's going to excite me, so Gambit got a new filming start date.
Wait, did it?
It did. So they at least announced that this movie's going to be moving forward.
Is it?
And it has been on hold for quite a while, but now they're saying that cameras will be set to roll on June 19th in Remy LeBeau's hometown of New Orleans. So,
June
will he be
19th of
there?
what year?
well, they didn't necessarily say that for sure in the article that I'm reading from ScreenRant.com, but one would assume that means June 19th of this year if they're not
Fair assumption.
specifically saying. So the question that brings to mind for me, if they really do start shooting in June on this movie with Channing Tatum under the spotlight, do you think that we'll get a Gambit? Because the release date right now is June 7th, 2019. Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think we'll get the Batman before we ever see the Gambit?
Here's what we need to do, Justin. You handle the website pretty well. We need a clock, and we need it to start counting up till we get one of these movies, and you can just say count down or count up to undesirables, because I don't think anybody gives two poops about either one of these movies.
Yeah, you hear that, Code Monkey? Make a clock for the website.
Like a clock
That's right.
challenge.
Honestly, it's like I don't know if either one of these is ever going to see the light of okay, first of all, what did you say the scheduled release date for Gambit was? Like June 15th of 2019 or some crap?
Yeah, it's like a year from the starting of
start of
filming.
No, that is never going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be laughably, hysterically bad. If that movie does make it from start of production to movie theaters by that date, the only way this would ever be fun to watch is if the crew of Mystery Science Theater was in the bottom right hand corner,
Absolutely.
ripping the bejesus out of it. Because really, you're gonna like it's standing right now. 14, 15 months, like flip turnaround, you're going to make a full-blown superhero movie, and you want it to be good? No. Okay, first of all, let's just put that to bed. It's not hitting that release date. Honestly, though, I don't know if I'm going to say we will see Batman before we see Gambit because DC is more desperate to ram in Batman to get it right because Batman is such a big important player and piece
cash cow
for what the DC wants to do, where it's like on the flip side, yeah, Gambit's cool, but at the same time, it's like if the Gambit movie fails, is that really going to, topple the entire Marvel, movie franchise?
No.
Exactly.
No. People will just cast it aside. It's going to be like the initial kind of Wolverine movies that weren't very good.
Yeah, the Wolverine origin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People will just kind of skip over them and be like, okay, oh well. In my opinion.
Well, I mean, let's look at the correlation here. Magic Mike, Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something there. He has magic. Gambit's kind of magic. So take those two movies, Gambit Mike or Magic Gambit, and we just turn it into kind of, what is it your term is? Mommy porn? And we put that out there.
Boy.
And we let Channing Tatum do what Channing Tatum do.
This whole premise seems sweaty.
That's the point. Then we throw in a little bit of 50 Shades of Gambit, and now we've got 50 Shades of Magic Gambit, and there's your movie.
So you're pretty much suggesting turning the X-Men franchise into fan fiction.
Not the X-Men, just Gambit. Mon ami. Because I feel that's the only way that movie's going to make money.
They could just take clips from Magic Mike 1 and 2 and just chop them up and interdisperse them.
Oh, my gosh, you're right. You know what? And you really don't need that much. I mean, they proved that you could have taken the mustache away from Superman with what? A laptop.
Well, they proved in theory you could have removed it. In practice, not so much.
Well, someone else did it down the line with an iPhone 6 or something. But anyway, it was proven that somebody with a little bit more talent and a little less technology could outdo what was done with more technology and less talent. So here we are. I love your idea, Justin. This is how the meeting's going to go with the people who are left at Fox before it implodes. So they're going to be like, all right, let's just take all his movies and do a Rocky IV and kind of just throw them all together and put explosions and purple stuff everywhere, and then put a cane in his hand and parts. Done.
I'd love Jonah Ray to be a part of it too because
absolutely
that could add some fun, and I like how he and Channing Tatum play off of each other, so I would enjoy that. In fact, just make
my God, and then it ends up being 24 Jump Street. I would be okay with that.
You totally.
Yes.
We raced.
Who could we make
to
Jonah
that
Ray
one.
though?
We raced to it because I was going to say the same thing.
What was
Damn
that?
it! No, he's not going to take my dream role.
What was the guy that used to hang around Pyro in the X-Men cartoon?
Toad.
Was it Toad?
Yeah,
I thought
Toad.
that was a different guy. Yeah, we'll just make Jonah Ray Toad.
And there was Avalanche.
Never mind Toad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ray Parker Jr.
That son of a bitch had better stay away from Puck.
You called dibs long ago. We all know.
Exactly. Yeah. All of our listeners know.
You've said you wanted to be Puck in a letter and you mailed it to yourself. That makes it a patent and a trademark for you to be Puck.
And it makes it a Patton Oswalt too.
And absolutely, he could be Puck, but we don't want to take that away from you.
You know what? If anybody had to take my role, I'd be okay with Patton.
Let it be Patton.
Okay, as long as you got to meet him, right?
Exactly.
Hang out for a day.
I could be like executive producer, which I mean, A little inside baseball secret. Executive producer means I did nothing yet collect a paycheck. I would absolutely be fine being an executive producer on whatever movie Puck ends up being in. Heck, I would be fine being an executive producer in whatever you, the lovely listener, has going on. So please let me know, landon.down@gmail.com.
I thought maybe you could just be Mr. Oswald's handler.
Yeah, I'd be okay. Hey, you know what? If as long as you pay me, you can call me whatever you want. Call me Sunshine.
Terrible.
Indeed.
All right. I want to move forward because
I have one more thought.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And I just want to throw this to you guys. Do you think now that let's go back in time, let's hop in the DeLorean, let's get in the TARDIS, whatever we need to do. Do you think Logan, you get any better of a movie than it is if you get to add Reed Richards as the doctor who tells him what's wrong with him, as did the comic?
I think that would have been pretty cool. It didn't take anything away from Logan that wasn't the case.
No, it didn't. I just wonder if in your all's opinion, if it would be better.
I think that would have been a nice connection to the continuity of the Marvel universe. Yeah, that would have been cool.
And I mean, the movie itself was already great, what we got, but I think that would have been kind of like a nice cherry on the top or an extra, layer of whipped cream or something on the sundae that was Logan. I mean, that would have been a cool tip of the hat. But like Jay said, it's like it wasn't necessarily bad because it wasn't Reed Richards, but that would have been cool.
Yeah.
But then like Dorcas is like, I was be like, oh, you finally decide to tie together the Fantastic Four and the X-Men movies, and this is what you do. This is where you do it at the very end, just to be like, yeah, we could have done this the entire time. Suck it. Here's 90 seconds of Reed Richards and Logan sharing the screen. It will never happen again. In your face, nerds.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay. All right. It's time to reveal which one of the three of us was able to, what did I say earlier, consume through your ocular cavities? Ready Player One, but right before we started recording. And I'll just say, not it.
Not it.
Fake out. Pat Sajak. That's who saw it.
Pat Sajak, welcome to the show.
Nobody saw that
my
coming.
face is rubber.
It was Matt. It was Matt, actually.
It was me.
So
who? I thought it was Pat.
Matt,
Pat Weaver, everybody.
Matt,
That's right.
You're not usually the one in the role of the person who saw something on opening night. That's usually reserved for Landon. So, first of all, welcome to this position of honor. But also, I mean, without spoiling anything, but what were your thoughts?
I have read the book, and of course you have too.
Yep.
And
don't say it.
I really like the movie for what it is, but
that really feels like you're about to say the movie has a nice personality.
I'll put it this way: the visual items in it, you can watch all day. How it was filmed, what they gave you, everything is beautiful. I just prefer the plot of the book.
Okay. I think that's fair. I honestly think from the previews that I've seen, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but from the previews that I've seen, there seems to be a lot that they did with this that is not in the book.
I will say this. It is very quick. It moves at a lightning speed from one to the other, like from scene to scene. And they took the book plot and they cherry picked people and put them in different situations that they necessarily weren't in or available to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Can I ask a dumb question here?
You can.
Unlike you guys, I haven't read the book, and unlike Matt, I haven't seen the movie. Obviously, is it really that big of a surprise that going into the movie, then coming out of the movie with the knowledge of the book that the book was better than the movie? Because I mean, just the scale at which this movie was the book alone was trying to tell a story of pulling in all these IPs, your favorite IPs growing up, and now they, updated it. You got stuff like Overwatch and Halo and stuff like that.
A lot of that's in there.
Okay, well, and that's a follow-up question. Is it really that big of a surprise that the book was able to do it better because, it was able to flesh the story out more so? And B, do you prefer the original nostalgia in the book, or are you okay with them updating, Link and Zelda into, Tracer and Master Chief.
I don't have any problems with the IP change. The only problems I have is, number one, the book is riddled with D&D references. They are absolutely subtracted from this movie.
Really? Huh.
It is completely bare of D&D
Void.
other than 2 or 3 visual elements.
I
That
guess
kinda
maybe
stinks.
they figured that might be a little bit, too narrow for a broad audience, or maybe for whatever
I have a
reason,
theory.
Hasbro didn't want to get on board with the movie.
Wizards of
Stranger-
the Coast is in the credits.
Well, I was going to say Stranger
Huh.
Things went there, though.
Their credit,
That's true.
I recommend, if you are a true nerd, you stay for the credits. The IPs that they licensed is a full movie screen.
Yeah.
It is insane.
Yeah, I
all
can
the-
see
the
that,
money
yeah.
they paid out. But it just, because they did that, they changed how the plot worked and how fast it went.
Mhm.
So that's really my only thing about it. But my theory is, and this is maybe, I don't know, Spielberg or whoever made this decision when they wrote it, it would have been way too close to the way Stranger Things is.
Interesting. I think there's a chance of that. Here's what I would say. The book tells a very interesting story. While I'm not going to try to say that it's like the most original storyline that's ever been told,
No.
because that wouldn't
No.
be, that's not true. But one of the things that it does is, I think, Matt, you've talked about some of like the nerd hate that was kind of generated from this
Yeah.
book, and there's this whole culture of people that just wanted to gnash their teeth about it, and kind of like, even though it's a different kind of a thing, similar to the way people felt about the Ghostbusters reboot and it being an all-female cast and stuff. They're like, you're attacking our nostalgia and leave it alone. I think there's
Ghostbusters can't have boobs.
I think there's a lot of stuff like that where people are like, just leave my stuff alone and stop messing with it. Well, here's the thing. This book and this movie did not intend to pick up your treasured artifacts from your childhood and tell a new story in those universes. You really want to look at it like it's going into your toy chest and pulling out all the toys that you collected through your 80s and 90s childhood and just playing with them and telling a totally different story that has nothing to do with their continuity.
I think I can give you a better example without spoiling the movie. If you are let loose into a VR world where your avatar is whatever you want it to be, what would you be? And think about what
Batman.
everyone else would be.
Sorry.
Max Powers with unlimited pornography.
No. Not what you have. Who would you be?
Oh, I would be
Would you-
Batman, but anyway.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, and this is not in the movie, but I mean, if we were in a virtual bar drinking, you would have an assassin, Batman, and probably Beast.
Yeah.
All sitting having a conversation at a table. That's the kind of world this is.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I like Beast. I'm trying to think who I'd go with.
That was just a guess.
No. Continue amongst yourself. We'll circle
Okay,
back around.
You workshop that.
While you ponder on it.
So I'm just saying that's what this world is. And I don't have any problems with them
I got it.
changing IPs, and Overwatch is in there quite a bit, actually.
Pepsi Man. I'd be Pepsi Man.
Cool. There's a person in like armor with an
Pepsi
emoji
Man!
smiley face at one point, and I'm like, what the hell was this guy thinking? Or girl.
Could be either.
This person.
I'm
But
glad
there's
it's all inclusive.
Don't
They're
assume
the
their
Oasis.
gender.
It's
There
called
Hey,
are some-
listen, we're familiar with the internet. We know how the internet works.
Exactly.
You cannot
Exactly.
assume
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gender of the avatar.
Every single
Right.
one of my MMO characters is a hot, busty lady.
Me too. A lot more people talk to you for some reason.
Exactly.
So,
They want to give you their money. And you know what? Who am I to say no?
no, I never say no. I don't know.
It had to be a better way to phrase that, buddy.
Nope. They I don't know. They do some original ideas in there that weren't talked about in the book and stuff. I knew it wasn't going to be the book.
Yeah,
I knew that it
yeah.
wasn't going to be like word for word,
Yeah, we knew.
page 16. It's not going to be that. I don't know. There was some things in it. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, and it's just, I don't know. It's hard to look past the book once you have the book in your head.
So I want to build on something you said last week when we were doing the brackets. You're big on soundtrack. How's the soundtrack in this movie?
Oh, I'll just tell you, the opening, phenomenal. And I mean, Spielberg knows how to make a movie. I promise you.
I don't know. I think the jury's still out on that one.
No, the jury is not out.
Yeah,
Not
that Stevie Spielberg kid, I don't know if he's going to make it.
I knew going into that movie, I'm watching a Spielberg movie, so I'm not going to be disappointed visually. And the way he does certain things, it's just who he is and how he does it. It was good. It just, it's hard for me to look past the things I know.
It's just different. I do think you have to look at it as two different things. And I think we've kind of talked about it in the past. That's when you go see a movie that's based on a book, you really, in order to enjoy it, especially if you're a big fan of the book, it is hard to let go of that, but you really almost have to look at it as an independent piece of entertainment.
See, this is why I don't read, because now I'm in the advantage.
Yeah, you are.
Look at all y'all suckers with your reading.
Well, on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you ever saw the movie Ender's Game, that movie is bonkers crazy and you have no idea what's going on if you've never read the book. If you read the book, the movie to you looks like a highlight reel with a sprinkling of Harrison Ford.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I don't
know. So, and I've never seen Ender's Game. So.
I have, and I have not read the book, and it was weird. So
it is.
Well, there you go.
There's no way for anyone to understand that movie without reading the book. There's no way.
I thought it was fun, but there are scenes that remind me of things that would happen in like Final Fantasy or something. Like it's an interesting experience watching that movie without having the book context for sure.
But I'll tell you this. You could probably watch this movie 50 times and not see every character that's on the screen.
That.
It is a visual overload, especially the battles. There is no way. They go into places where there is so many characters. You're just like, there's that. I mean, I saw.
Well, that could have been why that somebody was probably tickling your feet at that moment.
That or your avatar turned into Crash Bandicoot for some reason.
But yeah,
okay. I guess that right there, it's like that was another question I wanted to ask you. Your review, would this be a must see in theaters? Wait for Redbox or wait for HBO? But just based on that, I kind of feel like it's going to be one of the first two see in theaters or see on DVD. And it's like you probably want to see it on the big screen, but if you get it on DVD, you can watch these visually engaging scenes over and over and over again and take more in. So what is your choice on that?
I would say matinee, big screen.
Okay.
Don't pay the night price. Pay the day price. Go in ready to have some fun. Because I mean, that's what it is. They really chop it up, but they make it a lot of fun and a lot of suspense. And it's like, oh man, what's happening? So. And there's
cool.
There's some underpinnings that the book was really strong with. That they're it's there. So.
I'll be honest, just based on what you said, I'm more excited about seeing this than I was originally.
You'd love it. I mean, if you play video games or watch movies or anything, you need to see this movie just to see if your favorite character's thrown in there somewhere.
Okay, well,
Mine was not.
Clearly, if you listen to this, I don't watch movies or play video games.
That's right.
I mean,
this is not for you. I was going to say...
Did I even pronounce that correctly? Video games?
I was going to say... I think the book is perfect for people in our age group because everything that it talks about are things that we grew up with. I know, Landon, you're maybe a couple of years younger than Matt and I, but
yeah, that's right. Suck it, old farts.
But reading the book is really like a walk through our childhood. The movie is going to be more like, are you a nerd? Okay, there's going to be something in here that you recognize. Like that's what it feels like to me. So. I don't know. I'm excited about it, and Matt, I appreciate you bringing that instant review.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
The only time it's probably going to happen this year.
Perfect.
No, that's a lie. I actually have some movies planned out that I am going to go see. Solo is another one
you mean
that
Lando?
I'm probably going to see. Yeah, Lando. I'm gonna see.
Colon, a Star Wars story.
I'm gonna see Lando when
A
it comes
solo
out
story.
Memorial Day weekend. So
Lando, a solo story.
a solo story that actually checks out.
Yep.
So
I might or might not be seeing
random
Infinity
thing.
Wars in Las Vegas, so that could be fun.
cool.
That's another one I want to see. Oh, you want to see in Las Vegas? Damn,
Mhm.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about this later.
Okay. I did see a preview for Infinity Wars. No Fantastic Four in there, but very long preview. And something to excite you, and maybe you. I hope Landon, when you see this, you get this preview. But they had a preview for the Spider-Verse, the animated series
Yeah.
with Miles Morales.
What?
It is fantastic.
Yeah,
looking.
that looks like it's going to be great.
There was a scene that showed Peter Parker and Miles talking in a subway, and he goes, "There's other ones like us." I'm trying to tantalize you here. And at one point, you see him like they turn the city upside down as he's falling. At one point, it's insane. It's great animation. I think it's set for December. They said
Yeah.
so.
Oh, my body is ready. That sounds amazing.
It looked awesome.
I'm excited
it
about
looks
that too.
awesome.
Yeah, that'll be good. Awesome. Well, there's a little teaser. There's a lot of good stuff coming out this year, guys. So, you know what we need is we need like a street team when we can't go out and see these things instantly. We need a street team to report back to us. So, if you want to be a member of the NNC street team, hit me up.
Oh,
On
is
the
that
street.
is that what we're calling them? The NNC Street Team?
That's right.
What
get 'em-
about
we'll get 'em
the
jackets.
NNC Boner Factory Extravaganza Jamboree Team?
the Krogan boners?
No,
Yeah.
no, that's a different thing.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
All right.
Let's not be ridiculous. here,
Sorry.
all right? Come on.
The Hammock Squad.
There we go. We're bringing it back.
For those who enjoy lounging outdoors.
And in the crotchal area.
Guys, I know we're still building towards WrestleMania 34 this year, and I think that for us today, it's time to get to the main event. So,
Ooh, yeah.
people have been clamoring for it. We've generated some noise online. I want to give a shout out to Leonard Strauss and also say, screw you, buddy.
Leonard is pissed. He
Oh,
wished a pox upon our families.
he really did. Don't put that evil on me, Leonard Strauss. Don't put
Yeah.
that evil on me. He took a little bit
Find
of
a Ricky
exception.
Bobby person to put that on.
He took a little bit of exception to Black Panther bowing out of the tournament when it did. But listen, them's are the breaks, okay? And if you can't
Can't
take,
all be winners.
they
Yeah, but I'm
can't.
sure Virginia was like, "Hey, we're the number one overall seed. What could possibly go wrong in the first round?"
And then a little University, Baltimore County, whatever they were, showed up.
University
UMBC.
of Maryland, Baltimore County. Yeah, there you go.
I had some UMBC recently because I ate some Crystal for the first time in a long time, and so UMBC straight up in the bathroom. But
Dear Lord,
but listen, no apologies because
I think that was more of a bowl buster instead of a bracket buster.
as we said, we are determining, without a doubt, for once and all, the greatest MCU movie of all time. Our word is the law, my friend. Just like Judge
Not
Dredd.
Judge Dredd, but
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I am the law. I'm the law.
not a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
Adrian.
Also, not a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
It will be soon. So
Yeah,
let us get into the final four of our bracketology. And I have no idea what we called this thing. It was like the Olympic Superstar Smash Brothers Contest of Champions.
of Champions. I do remember it was of Champions.
As long as we finish out with of Champions, it doesn't matter what we lead up to it with.
Okay, so I'm just going to name stuff that I see in front of me: the Dos Equis box, Teal cup, Keurig coffee maker, microwave of Champions.
There you go. Round of four.
Of four. Yeah, there we go. Nailed it.
Okay.
Risky four.
That's right. So in our first matchup today, we have number 9, Captain America Winter Soldier, heads up against number 5, Spider-Man Homecoming. And in the late game, it's the number 3, Marvel's Avengers versus number 10, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which some might say it's a travesty that one's made it into the Final Four. I say to
Yeah,
you, suck it, bitches.
Yeah, I was going to say that I really feel like that's the Loyola Chicago of the Final Four of this year. It's like it's a fun story, but like seriously, this stopped being interesting several rounds ago.
But they've got God on their side, so you can't stop them.
No. Well, I guess technically, Loyola Chicago has God on their side. In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, they fight a god, lower G. So there's that.
It's true. It is true. But they have some sweet tunes. All right. I don't remember who is supposed to go first on this next one. So I was keeping track pretty well, but I have no idea who gets to tell us what their opinion is first. So let's just start as we did in round one. So Matt, we'll go Matt, Landon, me. Although I'm not trying to be the decider on this one. Actually, I don't want to do that because I feel like I'm making myself the decider. We'll do Landon, me, Matt, and then for the second one, we'll do me, Matt, Landon. Let's do that. That seems fair.
I have to be the decider.
I want you to be the decider because I want to give you the power. All right. Let's start with Captain America: Winter Soldier versus Spider-Man: Homecoming. But and the reason I'm excited that Landon gets to go first is because I got to imagine there's a lot of inner turmoil going on for Landon on this one, because he's expressed how much he loves Captain America: Winter Soldier, but it's against his boy, the Spider-Man.
Yeah, everything you just said, there is some uneasy feelings going on right now because, like you talked about how if you were going to be any avatar, like if we were to go into Ready Player One, it would be Batman. For Jay. For me, it would be Spider-Man because I grew up a Spidey fan. I love everything about Peter Parker, the spectacular, the amazing, the fantastic, any sort of adjective you want to throw in front of him, Spider-Man. I love me some Spider-Man. And especially Homecoming, I feel like is the best on-screen presentation we've gotten of Spider-Man. We've gotten of Peter Parker. Heck, of Aunt May. I think this is the best we've seen. His supporting cast, Gangi, even though he's based on the Miles Morales Spider-Man, I love the fact that he is in this universe. I love, I just blanked on her name, the actress who's portraying MJ. I love her MJ. The Vulture is maybe one of the best Marvel Cinematic villains, period.
He's great.
All of that said, I got to give my vote to Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Woo.
Yes. Again, it's like I really hate that I had to see Black Panther versus Winter Soldier in the previous round, because if this was up to me and I could rig the brackets, this would have been our championship matchup, and we got it in round 2. I've said so much about Winter Soldier. I think it's a great movie that just so happens to have Captain America and the Winter Soldier and Falcon running around in the background. It's a fantastic story. They have fantastic characters. The world that it builds is compelling. And oh, by the way, there are superheroes in it. Like, you could remove all of the SHIELD stuff and just replace it with, U.S. government interfaces or whatever. Excuse me. You could replace it with, government stand-ins. The FBI is the FIB or whatever. And this would still be a compelling story. But the fact that it does have SHIELD and it does have Hydra and it does have Steve Rogers running around kicking ass, being all he can be, being the most upstanding thing in America, and stopping a political takeover from the inside. Seriously, just talking about it right now, I want to go watch Winter Soldier. So Winter Soldier gets my vote over Homecoming in this round.
All right. Well, this one's really tough for me too, because I think Winter Soldier is a great movie. Just like you said, everything that you're saying, I agree with. I would echo. When I think about Spider-Man: Homecoming, there's a couple of things going on in my head. One is, I had such a good time watching that movie. Like, it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it throughout. There are moments, we talked about it last week, like the moment where Michael Keaton and his Vulture character and Spider-Man and Tom Holland, they meet up and they kind of realize who each other are. And then like that whole sequence in the car leading to the formal or wherever they were going, the prom, I don't know. So that was such a fun, like, cinematic moment. And I just think, just like you said, in my mind, Michael Keaton, first of all, Michael Keaton is, always will be Batman.
Amen. Yep. No. Kevin Conroy's Batman, but he can be the live action.
Kevin
Batman.
Conroy's voice of Batman, but Michael Keaton. As much as I love Christian Bale, I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman '89 was what I grew up with. Batman Returns. First of all,
Did he wear hockey pants?
Jack Nicholson's performance in Batman, the '89 Batman, was amazing. It was so much fun. I love Gangster Joker.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. I love Christopher Walken in that movie. In Batman Returns. Sorry, and then it was all good stuff. So I have this love in my heart for Michael Keaton. To see him play another super-ish character, a super villain in this case, was a nice callback to all those feelings for me about how I think he's awesome in these kind of roles, and for him to do it 30 years later was really fun for me. So if these two, we got to put it back to both of them are on in prime time. I'm scrolling through my YouTube TV and have to make a decision. I love Captain America Winter Soldier. That's a heavy movie for me. I want to have some fun. I'm watching Spider-Man Homecoming. So I'm going to give it the vote.
Whoa.
Spider-Man Homecoming, you get my vote. You're going to be up against Captain America as Matt makes the final decision.
Wow. And I do want to point out before Matt gets in here, talking on Michael Keaton, you talk about how it'd been 30 years since he'd done, the super thing. I guess technically it was, but look back a couple years prior to that, and he was doing the Birdman thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like he took the character of Birdman and then kind of twisted it a little bit. No, by the way, he's the Vulture now. So I also think that was a really cool kind of like caveat into that character.
Agreed. All right, Matt.
That said, Matt, if you use that against me, you're dead to me.
They're an equal footing movie. On one hand, with Winter Soldier, you get so much of, I'm not going to say the underbelly of the Marvel world, but you definitely get the conflicts of that kind of world. And if you're well known and have powers and you have to make an emotional choice, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not going to be something that's on the fly. It's like, well, I'm, Captain America, so I go and do this. No, it doesn't work that way. And they give you that real element of how it feels. It's like, this is my buddy. He pulled me out of so many fights that kids would have beaten me to death in an alley, and I'm not going to turn my back on him, regardless of who he is or what he is. I'm going to go get him out of the fire. And you get that with, Winter Soldier. But on the other hand, with Homecoming, you get the Spider-Man that, we all know. Peter Parker is not Mr. Confidence. He doesn't know what to do all the time. He makes mistakes. He's a kid, and being a kid, you do kid things. You run on emotion. You go with your gut. You don't use your brain. So when older people tell you what to do, you're like, God, they're stupid, And you give somebody with those kinds of like growing pains and emotional instability powers. It's insanity, and I think that Tom Holland is. I don't know how they went about picking him or what they did to get to the decision of this is our guy, but whoever that is, I hope he's still employed at Disney Marvel because he did an absolute solid job picking somebody. I enjoyed the fact that we didn't get an origin story. Like, we had to watch Ben get, blasted into space or shot.
We didn't have to see with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't get that whole, like, let's hit the 45, baby. We're going to play the hits tonight. We didn't get that. It was just like, boom, here he is. This is who he is. He, the movie reflects around the now, cell phones and selfies and little docu-diaries and crap that kids do. And it adds a lot of comedy, and that to me was always Spider-Man, was the comedy, the snide remarks. They kind of captured it in Amazing Spider-Man, but I have to agree, Garfield was a little older. I liked Amazing Spider-Mans, but they're nowhere near the comedy that we're getting with Holland and Homecoming. So, as Justin said, Winter Soldier is a heavy movie. Homecoming, not so heavy, a lot of introductory to a character that we all love. I'm gonna go with Homecoming.
Boom.
What?
Homecoming in the finals.
And the only reason, let me justify it, Landon. Let me justify it.
You're dead to me.
I know.
Dead. D-E-D,
I know.
dead. Every one of
know.
you sons of bitches.
I know. But I will say this. How many times have you seen a movie done like Winter Soldier? We've seen a couple.
No.
How many times have we failed at seeing Spider-Man done?
Okay, hold on. I'm tagging in here. Me of all people, I already identified myself as somebody who grew up on Spidey. Yeah. Just because we've seen so many times of it going wrong doesn't mean the fact that they finally got it right. We should be like, okay, this is super duper. Not only did they get it right, it is the best it has been. But at the same time, it's like, that's the best we've seen of Spider-Man. I would put Captain America: Winter Soldier up against the best movies of all time, period.
Okay, I got 3 trump cards to throw at you on this one.
Whoa. Did somebody say my name? They're
sorry,
my
I
cards.
summoned
It's
him.
gonna be
I only
I
said
got
it
some
once.
vetoes.
I only said it once. I didn't say it 3 times.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. You got 2 more times.
May Parker, played by Marissa Tomei.
Okay.
Yes.
That was number 1. 2, Donald Glover has an appearance in this movie, and that's huge.
Okay,
Hilarious.
that's cheap, but I'll give it to you.
And then 3, also Hannibal Buress has an appearance in this movie as Coach Wilson, and his part is ridiculous, and I love it. I'm such a fan. Like, and you said MJ Zendaya. They didn't officially say that that's MJ. It's just that her initials.
That's MJ.
It's just her initials happen to be or whatever. But yeah, she's awesome in it. Come on, and you get Tony Stark in this movie, and he's really cool mentoring Spider-Man. I don't know. I think there's a lot. This isn't the biggest like travesty to happen of all time that this movie's in the finals. I just gotta say that.
I really hope our Twitter is outraged as they were last week.
Bring it, Leonard.
Yeah, yeah, Leonard.
I don't care. I ain't here for
We're out here
friends.
chumming the water.
All right.
I mean, like I said, I think I justified. I've seen movies like Winter Soldier. I love Winter Soldier. I just feel like Spider-Man hit everything I wanted it to hit. There are parts of Winter Soldier I can think in my mind that I was like, I'm ready for this to be over.
Well, that's because you have shortcomings as a person. But
I do. And as the shortcomings, I was given the power of decision, and that is my decision.
Let me ask you this, Lena.
I am podcasting in hostile conditions.
Weren't you
Could somebody
fired up?
call the ACLU or the NAACP or the NCAA or
Shut up.
WNWA?
Listen, weren't you fired up to see Flash in Spider-Man: Homecoming? Because there's going to be more with him. Like, he's getting built up to be a bigger character in the next Spider-Man movie. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's good stuff. Let's move on.
I'm still angry. I have to
Twitter wolves attack.
yell into my microphone and make nonsense noises.
We're ready. We're ready for you.
Okay.
All right. I'm kicking us off on this one. So this is the Avengers versus Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I know what you're thinking already. I can hear it. I hear it out there. I see the eyes rolling. Even though I can't see any of you, I see it happening. I can hear it. And it is... Let me tell you, it's ticking me off because you don't know me, okay? And let me just say that while I feel like I've been a pretty big driving force, although Matt's been right along with me in bringing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 all the way to the Final Four. Avengers is a very strong opponent in this situation, and I know we talked about how this movie has been played on basic cable ever since it came out, played to death. It's like your favorite song on the radio that you get sick of because you've heard it too much. But you got to take that out of the equation because the Avengers was the ultimate ensemble movie when it came out. It was an epic event, and we're not just going to try to give it a vote just because it was some big epic event that happened. It wasn't just that. No, it was fun. It had a spirit to it that a lot of these movies haven't had. I'm looking at you, DC, and and Justice League specifically.
It's not looking back.
No,
It's avoiding eye contact.
So
It's looking at
your
your
eyes.
shoes.
and
If we make eye contact, it can see our shame.
Man, you know, it felt like the ultimate comic book experience when I saw it in the theater, and it still feels like that to me today. And while I have a blast watching Guardians of the Galaxy, and I do every single time, whether it's Volume 1 or Volume 2, those movies are so fun, start to finish. I don't think that it has necessarily the gravitas of an Avengers walking in the room. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 started to get a little bit more into that zone because of the story that it built up with Yondu and his fatherly relationship with Star-Lord, and with Gamora and her relationship with Nebula, and everything that it built up around there. And then I don't know what happened with Drax. He just went silly. But
him and Mantis had a little side thing.
They did.
It was just to make fun of Mantis. Segment.
Drax
is
again. Working on his stand-up routine. He's trying to put together a tight five. I don't know. I think he's doing open mics.
To deal with Air Black.
I think he's been hitting the open mic circuit. He's probably playing colleges. But you know, at the end of the day, there's no way that movie can take down Avengers, in my opinion. So Avengers is getting my vote here. And now, Matt.
Now it's time for Landon to get pissed. I see your points, and I go to what I always go to is the whole, if it's on TV, which am I watching? And like you said, it's been on basic cable. It's played to death. Yeah. I've probably seen it more times than I care to remember. But like you said, it was everything that we wanted. And it brought in characters that didn't have one-off movies. It gave us things that, maybe like Landon being a Hawkeye fan, he didn't get a movie for Hawkeye, but he did get Hawkeye, and it was Jeremy Renner. I've heard a lot of people don't like Hawkeye or Jeremy Renner, and they're living in a mortal hell, I guess, with both of them together. But
I'm okay with Hawkeye. I'm just going to get in. Please continue.
I really enjoy that Hawkeye. So, and they didn't put the mask on him. Thank God.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
No purple suit.
So, yeah. And I mean, we got, Scarlett Johansson. When I first heard she was Black Widow, I was like, here we go. Eye candy time, guys. But she did a great job. And I think she really conveyed this, spy in a Marvel world. So, and Samuel L. Jackson's in there. We're throwing the Hulk. I mean, we're doing it. We're doing the do here. And it's just, it's really good. And I was smiling all the way through it. But when I think about Guardians 2, I have a small child. That's no mystery here.
That's not our fault.
It isn't. How do you know, Landon? Where were you?
Wait a minute.
That is true.
Breaking news.
Actually, this is an episode of Maury, everybody.
I just want to say me and Landon were in an elevator together alone way too long. So anyway.
That's not how babies get made, you dumbass.
That's not what you told me in the elevator. So.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm way too sober for this conversation. Please continue, though.
I will. So, Guardians 2, when I think about it, I think about how much I laugh at Guardians and Guardians 2. But mostly in 2, I've said this a billion times. I'm just going to briefly touch on it. The way they filmed this movie, I love. Because... And I feel I hate because when I think of Avengers, it brings I like mush Age of Ultron in with it, and I know I shouldn't. I should see it how it is. But Age of Ultron, and I think the Avengers did it. We just didn't realize it. Way too much action going on around you. Like crap is happening everywhere, and you have no idea what you're looking at or seeing. And I think in Avengers they did a better job of kind of conveying, who's doing what, and people are running all over the place. But I still love the way, Guardians 2 was like, here's something funny, crap's happening in the background. Sorry. You're focused on a moment while, the overall picture of the universe is happening in the background. And I love that. I don't know why I love that, but I love that. It's kind of like if you were in the middle of a war zone and you're like, oh, this cat's got dirt on his feet and he's walking on this white floor. Stupid cat. You're really upset about that. And, there's laser guns and G.I. Joe fighting in the background. But like I said,
Taserface. Don't forget Taserface.
Taserface. Yeah, and that's the next part I wanted to get into real quick is that I think that every character got to grow in the movie one way or another, good or bad. It got to grow. I wasn't wild about Kurt Russell, still not all that wild about his character, but he grew on me as I've watched it for the third or fourth time. So, with all that said, Lando's death. Or Yondu's death, I mean.
Lando.
God.
I was going to say, oh my God, wait. Spoiler alert.
Be still my heart.
Do I have to lock the doors? I am not dying tonight, damn it.
Spoiler alert.
I'm not going back to dead. No.
Yondu's death was so emotional for me, and I don't know why. I was just, his final words, the way he cared about, Star-Lord, the whole thing, I loved it. So I'm going to have to push Guardians forward because I feel like it's everything I wanted. It's smiles, it's tears, it's emotion, and it's growth that I want to see. And it's a new way to show me, a Marvel film.
All right.
So that's
all right.
Landon.
So I knew I was going to have to talk on this movie for this podcast. So last night I happened to rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on Netflix. And it had been the first time I'd seen this movie in a long time. And much like what Matt and Jay have said previously on this movie, it really held up. The soundtrack is great, opening with ELO's Mr. Blue Sky. That is fantastic. Groot dancing around. I did enjoy the Rocket storyline with Yondu and the Ravagers. And I want to piggyback on something Matt said, talking about the emotion of this movie. There's one scene that the first time I saw it, the second time I saw it, and the third time I saw it, it still hits me like just like somebody swinging around a sack of emotional bricks, and it hits me right in the face. Which, by the way, those are the worst types of bricks, emotional ones.
I think that's called
the scene where Yondu is, being shot out into space, and they're having the Ravager funeral, and then the other Ravagers show up to, shoot the colors off. And then it does the cut to Sean Gunn, director James Gunn's brother, who plays. I really wish I could remember his character's name, but he plays the number 2 to Yondu. Mm-hmm. And the way he stands in, I know it's just a man playing a character, but the emotion that he puts forth in that scene where you can tell his character is so happy that his mentor, his father, gets to see the Ravager colors, something that he never thought he was going to get to. It's like, just talking about it, like the hair on my arm is standing up. It's like, and there's those great moments in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And it's like, you have to give it up to James Gunn. He's done a fantastic job taking what should have been just a cast off. Oh, by the way, we have a Marvel movie with a talking raccoon and a tree as our main characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and turned it into one of the most profitable franchises. And, ever. But I got to give it to the Avengers. I'm sorry, after all that. The Avengers, I've talked previously about how so often, it had to hit every note, not only perfectly, it had to, hit every note. Not only did it do that, it also hit it perfectly. And much like Matt said, it's like, he said it felt like there was too much going on in the background, like, these characters whizzing in and out of buildings, shooting bows and arrows or photon beams or throwing a shield or whatever. And it's like all craziness going on in the background. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it was supposed to be. This was the Avengers. This was, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Panther, not Black Panther, Black Widow, all coming together to, play on the same stage. So yeah, just because something's going on in the foreground, that doesn't necessarily mean stuff ain't going to be going on in the background. And I thought that was part of the fun aspect of the Avengers, because especially that one shot where Cap gets all of them together and he starts calling the shots. It's like, all right, we need eyes in the sky. Tony, Hawkeye, go and take care of that. Legolas, clinch up. Whoosh, there goes Hawkeye and Iron Man. It's like when they started calling the shots and you got to see them bounce around to the different perspectives, I really thought that was the first time it's like, okay, this is what a comic book movie is supposed to look and feel like on the big screen. When the fact that you have these 6 major characters doing everything that they need to be, because they are top level guys when it comes to comic books. Yeah, they're not necessarily the main focus, but it still feels like they're top level guys, top level girls, and they're doing what they're supposed to do to, build towards this whole grandeur thing. Like, this is what, 6 movies in the making, and they nailed it. Every aspect of it was done so well. So, for that and several other reasons, Avengers.
Yeah. You had me going for a minute, but I knew there was going to be a but.
I know, right? Yeah. But.
Boy, was it a big but. Mm-hmm. But I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
And other brothers, you have to...
All right, guys. It's time for the finals. This is what we've been building to.
Do we want to do it tonight, or do we want to tease it to next week?
I know. I think we ought to finish this up because.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, we're finishing it tonight, and now the crowd goes wild. Wah! We're cashing in the money in the bank. All right, Matt, you go first on this one. The matchup is Spider-Man: Homecoming versus the Avengers.
I guess with what we have, with the leftover eggs and milk here, I'm gonna bake an Avengers cake.
All right.
And for the simple reason that it is a culmination of everything. It was a lot of movies to get to this. If it failed, it would have been disastrous, but it didn't. All the casting is right. All the moments you wanted to see and feel, it's all there. Homecoming's great, but it doesn't have that cast, and it doesn't have those characters and the roller coaster of emotion and comedy. So I'm going with Avengers.
And that Joss Whedon touch.
Yes, the Jaws, as we call on this podcast.
That's right.
Joss. That is how his name is pronounced. We're aware. Joss.
All right.
Joss.
I'm going to give Landon, I'm being so charitable here. I'm going to let Landon be the one that has the final word on this because I just feel like he should. But I'm going to say...
He got screwed in the finals.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know that there's a lot of reason to build up a lot of drama around this. I think we've said our piece about Spider-Man. I think the biggest thing that I would say about the Avengers is, and you hit on it just a second ago, star power wise, there's no contest really. I know you do have Robert Downey Jr. and you have Michael Keaton in Homecoming, but just overall the culmination, the sum of the parts is greater in the Avengers. To be able to make all that work on screen together in a cohesive way, it was very impressive. The work that Joss Whedon done should not be minimized on that movie, and I just think when you're thinking about ultimate comic book movie, this is exactly what you wanted. So I'm going Avengers, and which already gives it the title, but I think we can go ahead and put the nail in the coffin and give Landon the last word on this one.
All right. Well, I guess if I actually had to cast a vote deciding one way or another, I would also give it to the Avengers. But at the same time, let's give some love to Spider-Man Homecoming. Going back to what I said a while ago, this is clearly the best presentation we've seen of Peter Parker and or Spider-Man on the big screen, and it's not even close. This is the best we've seen. His supporting cast, his villains since I'll say the first two. Shout out to Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. I still love that performance. I know some people, for whatever reason, have soured on it in the last few years. I don't get that at all. Like, Doc Ock still kicks ass in my opinion. But yeah, I love everything about Homecoming, like I talked on it previously. But obviously the decision's already been made, but I would still go Avengers over Homecoming. So congratulations, Marvel's The Avengers. Not only did you win every box office title, you now won the title of the Dos Equis Teal Cup Keurig Coffee Maker Microwave of Championship Title Award of Champions. Congratulations.
Trademark NNC.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby.
And that will put a bow on the Marvel MCU bracketology for 2018. You know, if we wait a few years, we could expand this out. We're going to need like a field of 64 for the Marvel universe eventually.
I like these movies, but I'm just going to say it. That sounds exhausting.
It really would be.
Because it's like I tried to think about I'm gonna do the whole catch up to Infinity Wars, because you could do the whole watch one movie a week and you would be able to see everything in the lead up, and it's like, oh God, that sounds like a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just one movie a week for like 4 months.
That's a lot to consider.
God. Ugh.
Especially when there's all this other great stuff we got to be watching on Netflix and Hulu and everywhere else.
I know, right? By the way, finished Jessica Jones season 2. Pretty good, though some characters make questionable decisions, but we'll get into that in a later podcast.
Oh, that, as you have taught me.
Did you watch season 1 yet?
No.
We're going to get back to that. So save that, because I want to dig into it when I've got a chance to watch season 2 of Jessica Jones. But again, congratulations, Marvel's The Avengers. As if you needed some sort of a title, we will be shipping you your framed certificate for cutting down the nets here in the MCU bracketology 2018. And
finally, something good's going for the Marvel movies.
Definitively, listen to me, people. Definitively, this is the best Marvel movie of all time. But wait. We didn't include any of the outside of the MCU movies, and I know we had talked kind of offline. Eventually, maybe we should do something like an NIT and do all those movies that are outside the periphery of the Disneyverse. And I think that'd be really fun.
Okay. Quick question. Would that just be Marvel movies that aren't in the MCU umbrella, or would that be like all hero movies outside of the MCU and hero adjacent movies?
No. I think it should be just Marvel movies outside of the MCU. So we're talking like Howard the Duck. By the way, Big Hero 6 would be in that mix.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. But though I am disappointed we're only going Marvel properties or Disney properties. I was hoping for a Blank Man to go really far.
See, I think they need their own.
What about Mystery Men?
No. That will get bounced in the first round. In theory, that's a great movie. In follow through, terrible.
All those movies are in a separate promotion. They don't count.
Kick-Ass?
And
Kick-Ass is technically a Marvel movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Or rather, a Marvel comic.
So it would be included. Howard the Duck, it's in there.
We need to do this. By the way, spoiler alert, Deadpool still wins.
There's a good chance, but I don't know. We'll see. I think we have a great opportunity to tick off more of our listeners with that bracket, so we should do that again. Maybe
I like the idea of it, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We should definitely chum the water. I mean, and we didn't even get around to the whole Disney Pixar bracket that came out this week.
Right, and so I thought maybe you guys might want a little more time on that. So because what we're going to do is we're not going to go game by game on that one. What I'd like to do is I want you guys to, for next week, come up with your final four from that Disney Pixar bracket.
It's the Dos Equis Empty Box Teal Cup Keurig Coffee Maker Microwave of Championship.
It needs a different one from the MCU one. We'll come up with something better, like a.
I also have random other garbage. Empty Coors box. No, please continue.
Right. So come up with your final four, and we'll discuss it, and we'll just kind of talk about were there difficult choices? Were there things that were just like going to sail through for you no matter what? And then we'll play off of it from there, and it'll just be a fun discussion, I think. So because that's another one of those things that was floating around Twitter this week, and it's gotten a lot of people fired up. So
yeah, Twitter.com seems like a really angry website these days.
Not a lot of just peace and agreement, but
like take an F and chill pill, y'all.
Right.
Sorry to use such harsh letters.
I'm gonna have to edit that.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry.
So I think at this point we should probably wrap it up. This was a fully packed episode again, and so I think it's time to call it a night. So, gentlemen, it is now your time to plug everything not related to Nerd News Cafe. Matt, what have you got going on?
Nothing.
Okay. Landon. No.
Oh, just Tracking Track podcast. If you guys haven't caught up with the Star Trek Discovery, jump on it. Exciting news, kind of rumor mill, throwing that Paramount may be purchasing Star Trek TV back so that it will be under one house, TV and movie, so that can maybe change what CBS is doing. I'm not sure if they're buying CBS or if they're buying Star Trek. Just rumor out there, so it could change it for next season maybe, or possibly season 3 if they even get one after that kind of change. But nevertheless, you can always catch up on the episodes of Star Trek Discovery, and then catch up on our episodes and Tracking Track podcasts. So have fun with that
and live
at
long
Tracking
and
Track
prosper. That's right. Landon.
There we go. My mic's back on. Hey, now, I know you're probably wanting to save content for your podcast, but I'm kind of curious. Do you have an opinion if that transaction does take place, how it could impact what's going on with Star Trek going forward?
I think we'll lose the TV. I think
really?
I think so. I think they'll push for movies, and you'll see TV fade away for a little while. And you'll also, this is purely my opinion and not Thomas's. I'll have to get him in with these rumors, but I think if you do get a TV show, you're going to get a highly, highly sci-fi show, and more in the future and less in the past of that timeline.
Interesting. Well, I will definitely keep one eye open as what's going on, and I will keep my subscription going on. So y'all, the fine folks, Tracking Track podcast, can let me know what's going on. Twitter.com/Landoz, LANDOZ. That's where you can find the latest musings from me. 280 characters at a time. I also run a website, buttmunchchips.com, buttmunchchips.
Sit on your butt.
And you bunch.
That's where you can find the exclusively posted Game of Thrones Talk, a.k.a. Got Talk, where myself and Hunter East break down each episode of Season 7 of HBO's award-winning series Game of Thrones. We are in somewhat of a hiatus. I think it's supposed to come back April 19th of next year, but who the hell knows what's going to happen between now and then. So in the meantime, we have the Butt Munch Chips Variety Pack, where myself and a variety of guests talk on a variety of subjects. I'm going to say variety one more time because it is in the name, and that is exclusively posted at buttmunchchips.com. And also coming exclusively to Butt Munch Chips, and also, I guess not as exclusively, to this very fine podcast feed, is going to be a return of Near Fall Radio, looking and previewing up to WrestleMania 34 with the WWE. Myself and a variety, once again, of guests are going to be talking on the granddaddy of them all. Coming up this year, we have Will West, an actual honest-to-God radio personality, professional, joining us. And I guess a couple other bling-blongs you might have known of, Juice Deuce Kreuzonger and Matai Wavar, yeah. I believe. I think they're foreign, but
dignitaries is what it sounds like.
Exactly, yeah. But they're also going to be joining me on this very special episode of Near Fall Radio, and that is posted at buttmunchchips.com. Once again, Butt Munch Chips.
Sit on your butt.
You take a munch.
All right, I have to go lay down. I'm tired.
Take a break. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Nerd News Cafe. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you will come back again next week, where we will discuss more of the happenings in all of nerddom, just as we have done today. So thanks for listening. Thanks for interacting with us. We've got Twitter. We've got Facebook. We've got YouTube. We've got a website. nerdnewscafe.com, nerdnewscafe@gmail.com. You Google us, you will find us. We cannot hide. For Matt and Landon, I thank you once again, and I will see you next time on the show.
Come at me, bro, in transmission.